All right, we're going to jump back over to the industry professionals here. So we're going to go to gains. So the whole concept of gains is so pains was like, what's all the crappy stuff in your life right now? And gains is like, what are your wants and needs and what are your dreams? What are your hopes and dreams and the benefits? What do you see as success? Like, what do you want for the future? So, Lovey with a question mark, you kind of smiley face. You've been nominated by your group here to present what your discussions were.
Hi, my name is Lovey Marshall from the School of the Art Institute in Chicago, and I work specifically in residence life. But our conversation, we were thinking more so about the not necessarily the programming aspect, but just overall in general, what students would like from their college experience. And so thinking about for a student who came in maybe last year and then what their experience is like this year. So they're getting these two different types of experiences. One where it's probably like really engaged. There was a lot of socials and fun and tradition with their experience. And then this year, it's just kind of the opposite, where it's more a little bit, it's less intentional, potentially. I think we're trying to be intentional, but it may seem less intentional and purposeful to students. They're getting a little bit less of the traditions because everything is shut down. And then thinking really like, was it worth coming into the school? A lot of students took a gap year because they didn't know what COVID was going to do, and they wanted like potentially a traditional experience versus the students who went ahead and came to school, and just kind of the experience that they're not getting, or what aspects that they're still getting, but it's not a full aspect. So I mean, we hope that they're gaining, fun and socials, and but we know that it's a little less of that due to the current way we're set up at our institutions.
Awesome. Thank you, Lovey. All right, we're going to go down to group 8 now. So this is all these fantastic people, and no one put a name down. Karen, Jessica, Cole, Charles, Adele. Who would like to speak on behalf of your group? Tell us your combo.
I think I can talk for the group. So the conversation that we had was kind of like, what are the wants and needs as well? What are the students facing? What are they thinking about prior to the event? One of the things that we had talked about was meeting new people, building relationships. They're in a completely different world away from their daily life. So this is one that they want to create relationships. Is there a fun factor? Am I going to make substantial memories here? They want to get knowledge. Maybe they need a distraction from all of the academics, which I know I've needed when I was a student. One of the things I wish I would have done was hear from an alumni. What were the pros? What were the cons? What was the right thing to do? Having a guidance is really an awesome thing to have. I would love to know what's going to be the takeaway at the end of this, besides just a degree, just a piece of paper that tells jobs. Hey, I have an education, but is there more to it than that? What resources do I have access to when I'm at the college, ranging from, is there a food pantry? Is there a clothing shelter? Is there an early learning center for my kids to go to, for our parents? Where's my money going? So is my tuition going into something else? Is there another fee on top of it? Do I get access to these particular resources? Um, and then when it comes to events, what's the point of the event? Why is it happening? Should I go? Is it going to benefit me as a student in any way? And then am I going to have time to engage? Maybe I'm too busy with my work. Is there a different way? Maybe there's a meaningful way where it's a little bit less time and I can get back to my academics, my personal life, my social life, my second job life. There's a multitude of things to think about.
Awesome. Thank you, Cole. This is so fascinating already because there's whether we had, 60 people in the room, by the way, people that showed up 20 minutes or late, we didn't even let them in from the waiting room. So they'd just be so lost at this point. So, whether we had 60 people in this room, whether we had 200 people, no matter how many groups we had doing these different things, you can already see the first presentation versus this presentation for gains are so different. And we're all professionals that work with students, and yet we all have this different lens that we're looking at in terms of like, what do our students like want in the future? So let's ask the students. Who's going to talk on behalf of the students for what your hopes and dreams are in the future?
I can. I think Ryan and I are kind of switching off, so I'll do this one. But so for the gains, probably the biggest one is like the non-COVID times. Hopefully when one day things are back to normal, but and then kind of along with that, like not living in fear, just with COVID and I guess in general, like there's a lot of anxiety that comes with being a college student, just thinking about the future and everything like that. And then kind of dreaming of like traveling, hopefully after college, getting a good job. And like just getting a job, I guess, at this point after college. And then kind of wanting like times without, I kind of said that already, times without anxiety, and then striving for like high levels of self-awareness, having good friends and family, and having your family's like love and acceptance, and then just overall, I guess, kind of like growing as a person.
Thank you, Addison. I'm just like, this is just, I hope that you're all like just really living in the realization of how powerful this is right now. Because if we look at, in the gains, like we look at the list that like as professionals, teachers, student affairs professionals, we have in our mind what students want in the future, right? We want where's my money going? The students didn't even mention money. The students are like, I just don't want to live in fear. I just don't want to have anxiety. Like, I just want to get a job. It doesn't even have to be a good job. Like, I just want a job. And these answers to me are just so different. And yeah, you had a limited amount of time. You all know that there's overlap. Student affairs professionals on the call are like, yeah, we knew some of those things. We just didn't get to it. We didn't write it down. And I'm sure that the students are like, yeah, we do want that. We just didn't mention it. But just thinking about like where your minds automatically went to, there's power in constraining the time, right? You had 3 minutes, 5 minutes to look at this. Students had 3 minutes to look at this. And what's the first thing that comes to your mind? And how do they overlap? This is just super, super powerful. And we are going to build on this so much next week for sure.